Hello, and welcome to another episode of the Get Out of Gaming podcast. I am one of your hosts, Ben,
I'm Alex.
and we got a great show for you today. We are going to rank the 2D Mario games. Now, Alex and I were talking about this. It's too much to do every Mario game, but um, with me recently just finishing Mario Odyssey, we thought it'd be cool to rank the 2D ones. Now, have you played all of these ones, Alex?
Uh, yes, yes, I have.
Okay, I still have. The only hard part for me is um I we were talking before the show. I don't see any of these being like a D or an F.
No, definitely not.
Um, so we're gonna kind of go through this list here and we're
This,
gonna rank them.
this might
Um,
be kind of a fast list, to be honest.
I mean, it probably is, but um, one thing I want to say is uh, we bi-weekly podcast here. We do an audio version that releases bi-weekly on Wednesdays, and then we do that same one on Fridays on YouTube. So definitely, if you're checking us out for the first time, welcome. We are on Blue Sky. We are on X. We're on Facebook. So definitely check those out as well. If you're wanting the audio version because you want to have us at your workout or driving down the road, we're on Spotify, Apple, Amazon, wherever you get your audio podcasts. Also, if you could, besides checking us out there, definitely go to our YouTube page. We got some pretty cool stuff. We were playing Celeste, where Alex was playing, and we were just having great, open, casual conversations there that are definitely outdated for when I talked about them. Um,
We just
but
got too
those are
into it. We just got too
we
into it
did.
and just kept recording and recording.
It was like a great therapy session. I mean,
Except it
really,
was free.
it was yeah, it was free too. So definitely check those out there. If you want us to do more Let's Plays, we would definitely do that there. But let's jump into this list here. Let's start off with the OG Super Mario Bros. Here. So this came with the NES console when it launched with Duck Hunt. And to me, this is, and I'm going to throw this out there, and we could disagree. This is an S tier game. Now, we are not going by gameplay or level design. This is a pretty simple, um, level design. But for me, I'm trying to be out not nostalgic here. I guess it's like an A or a B, to be honest. I mean, what are your thoughts?
Things might change as we go through this list here. My gut's saying a B,
Okay.
but it could move up to an A as we go along through these. Um, I think it is very important. Obviously, it is one of the first like main platformers that like does everything right. It is the first Mario game, or Mario Bros game, I should say. Mario game existed in arcades and Donkey Kong and all of that. Um, it's very good. It's very good indeed.
I
But
mean,
yeah, just the others just do more. So
yeah. I mean, let's put this as a B right now. We can move things around. I'm definitely thinking I'm trying not to be nostalgic. That's very difficult. A lot of these games, I know for myself, and I'm sure for Alex, a lot of these games we played when we were younger. So I'll have to get out of the nostalgia and go buy games there. So the next one is Super Mario Bros. The Lost Levels, which is actually Super Mario Brothers 2. Um, so basically, when in Japan it was Mario 2, and they thought it might be too hard for us. So, and it is very difficult um
yes,
there. But it nevertheless is still it's like you can tell it's just like another Mario, just more difficult.
yeah,
Um, I'm thinking a C because I have played it. It is ungodly unforgiving. I
yeah.
see you run the D and the D and the F. I hope that's not what you're.
No, I was thinking C as well. I want to say besides one other here, Um, this is probably the only other C. I mean, there might be one other C. So, like, it's not. Again, it doesn't mean it's horrible, but like, yeah, it's very difficult. For what it is, it's very. I don't know. It feels arcadey in the fact of where it's designed to be super difficult. There are a lot of weird
Yeah.
jumps. There's a lot of gaps. There's a lot of just not puzzles, but like it's just. Well, I guess there are more puzzles. There might be more like of those like weird moving up and down, in the castles and all of that. So it's just a weird game. I just don't think it
Yeah.
vibes right with the rest of the Mario experience.
Yeah, it's very much, and like you said, your timing has to be spot on.
Yeah.
Your jumps, everything has to be spot on. So I agree with you there. Um, so Super Mario Brothers 2. Yes, as my
USA.
dog. This is the US version. It was another game overseas. They changed it to be Super Mario Brothers 2. This game plays completely different than the first Mario's. Um, I think it threw you off because you can actually ride on most of the enemies.
Mm-hmm.
Um, way
Pick them
different
up.
gameplay. Yeah, you could pick them up, you could throw them. There's a mechanic of if you got a bottle, you could throw it down and a door would appear. You get coins and mushrooms. Um, very, very neat game, which just last year I had finally finished this game on my Switch, and it took that long to finish it. Um, I I I almost want to put this at an A. And I know you have something to say about it as well. I love this game.
Mm.
The long pause and him, I don't know, man. I'm waiting for it.
So here's the problem. If we make this game an A, then we have to also bump everything else up, and I don't want to do that. I think this game is worse than Mario Bros, but I don't think it's. Do you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
I think the original Super Mario Brothers game is a better game than Mario 2. I think they're both great, but in order to justify and make this an A, then we'd have to move Mario Brothers up to an A as well, because I think that they would always just be like one's always one step behind the other. So
No, I agree. I would put it as a high C then. And it you know, I love the game a lot. I've played it a lot. But I finally finished it the other day. I mean, I would put it
well, I mean,
after
honestly, I would put it in the B behind Mario.
that's fine. Yeah. I agree with that. I think it's a really, really good game, even though it's just a skin print of another game.
Mm-hmm.
And
Doki
there's some
Doki.
heavy, yeah, there's some heavy hitters coming up that I know we're gonna have some conversations on.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so let's just jump into Mario 3. So Mario 3 was the game that almost didn't come out. It was in their arcade unit. Um, they weren't planning to release this game,
Yeah,
and they did. This had the most expensive what they say, the most expensive marketing budget
it's the
of
wizard.
any of the Nintendos. Yeah, they put it in a movie. They did a movie about the game. That's what I mean. Let's be honest. That
Yeah.
movie's just a giant commercial.
Yep.
Um, I want to say this is either. I want to say this is a either a very very high A or a very very low S ranking.
Again, we can move stuff when we need to move things, but I think this is an A. I don't want to give this an S because I think there are other things deserving of S here. Um, hmm.
I know it's difficult, and again, to our listeners and stuff, I'm really not trying to be nostalgic. Um, I'm trying to be more based on I'm just trying to be based more on of actual things in the game to make it the way it is. So
Yeah, I mean, this game is really good. It does have a lot of good things about it, but it kind of, I don't know how to say this with like being nice, you know. Um
with being nice,
so it's a cool mechanic that there's a warp whistle, right? There's a really cool mechanic that you can get warp whistles and warp and warp and warp and get to the end really quickly. But warping, most people do that because they skip like 3 worlds that they hate. And so
yeah,
that's like one of the main reasons why I don't think it deserves an S, because if it was an S, everyone would be playing this game like from start to finish and not skipping.
yeah, I agree. I think it, and then the other thing is like there are some hard levels. Like Pipe World's hard, Sky World is super
I hate
hard.
Skyworld.
Um, but Sky World's right before you get to
I
Bowser's,
hate the ice
and
one too.
yeah, that one's not fun either. Bowser's is not easy. It's
No.
very long.
Yeah.
Um, the one part I hate the most is there's those ones where you walk over them and you don't know which one you're gonna go into, but the hand pulls you
The
down.
lava bridge thing.
Y
Yeah.
Yeah, so, like, you're walking over these tiles and you don't know which one you're gonna get, but instantly a hand will pull you down.
Yep.
But you don't know which one you're gonna get. It's so randomized. Um, but for the time period, it really pushed the envelope of what the NES could do.
Yeah.
Um, you know, a great game. I think out of all the NES games, this is probably one of my all-time favorites. Um, I remember watching Nickelodeon and, you know, at this time, Nintendo was the top. I was
Hmm.
watching Nickelodeon, and they must have played this ad every commercial break, every single one, with the kids just yelling Mario, and they zoom out on the planet, and it's a giant Mario.
Oh,
Um,
yeah, yeah, yeah. Where they're all like Mario. Yeah. I've seen
yeah,
that.
I think, and this is when everyone was playing nice with each other.
Yeah.
Um, Now the next one, Super Mario World, that's when the 16-bit wars happened. So Sega had Sonic, but Super Mario World was very, very unique. It put Mario in a new land, right? Um,
Dinosaur World or Dinosaur Land.
yeah, and then they introduced Yoshi, which
Hmm.
was really cool, and those mechanics and the keys. There's just so many elements in there that it opened up there. I know this is like one of your personal favorites. So I got to see where you before I put a ranking.
Okay.
What are your thoughts on that?
So unlike the Mario 3, where like it has really cool mechanics, but it doesn't utilize those well with the level designs because the game's just kind of long. Also, to go back on Mario 3 really quick, the All Stars version of that, it's probably the best version.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Because there's saving. Mario 3 definitely loses points because there's no saving.
There is okay, so it's a weird. I don't think it did. You're right. It doesn't have savings, um, but and I will say if you're looking for the superior ones of these games, I would personally suggest Super Mario All Stars.
Yeah.
Personally, just because it looks better, it's better, it's better graphics, but I think the actual gameplay is better as well. It fixes a lot of some of those issues,
Yeah.
but please go.
Oh
I'm
yeah,
sorry.
but yeah, like yeah, Mario 3, it's a very long game for what it is, and there's no way of saving technically unless you play the All Stars version, at least to what I remember. So like it just makes it really annoying, and so maybe that's why warp whistles exist, because then you can kind of get something early and then play halfway through again. Maybe, but again, I feel like most people just did it just to skip the levels that they hated. With Mario World, on the other hand, I feel like this game is just the right amount of length. I think it introduces really interesting things. Um, let's see, we have the cape, which is one of the best
Oh my
items
god,
ever.
yes.
It's unfortunate that the cape is only in like 3 games. But it is way better than that raccoon tail or tanuki suit or anything like that, because if you master the cape, you can just pass through a level.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Whereas with the raccoon tail, like there is a limit. You can't just like speed on by. Yoshi, flying with Yoshi, different shells do different things as well. So like there's like the red shells do fire, the green shells you just spit them out with Yoshi. The blue, purple shells, those give you wings for a green Yoshi. So yellow Yoshi spits out coins. But then also like when you're red Yoshi, then every shell that you get is fire essentially. So like
Mhm.
each Yoshi's properties, of each shell property is basically based on like a Yoshi color. So like yeah, if like the yellow Yoshi has stuff, if it eats it, it kind of just turns regular stuff into coins or whatever. Um, and so that's really cool. Um, Music, level design, everything. All to say, this. So initially, when we were talking about this before we even started, I was like, "Oh yeah, this will be pretty fast, pretty easy, for the most part." I want to say this might be our only S tier, in my opinion. I think this is an S tier. I think this is a perfect game, so much so that speedrunning hacks and everything have been inspired by Mario World for years. There's the Kaizo Marios, there's all these other things, because there's a spin mechanic. I didn't even talk about like the spin jumping, where you can jump on spike things. There's just so many things that build on upon this, and like you can play this game in a lot of different ways compared to all these other Marios beforehand, where like yeah, you can play it with certain powers and things, but um that's kind of it. Whereas with this, you have different jumps, you have different powers, you can, if you're good at a power, you can do something. It's not just a
Yeah.
one done. So I think this game is probably the best Mario game. And so I think it deserves to be S tier, maybe the only S tier on here. I don't know, what are your thoughts?
No, I agree. I think, I don't know. I remember when we streamed this game. That's the first time I've ever finished it. It's a very long and lengthy game. Um, but I think for what you've exactly said, yeah, it has all those mechanics there. And no matter how old the game look is, it still looks great. Um, and that's why I said play Mario All Stars if you're going to be able to, if you want to play 1, 2, and 3, because they look great. They've improved graphics. But yeah, I really do think, you know what, this is definitely an S tier. So we can move that to S tier.
And this has saving mechanics.
Yeah,
Um,
that started being a thing with the
yeah.
16-bit consoles
And
is having that saving.
yeah, and it has pretty good multiplayer as well, I guess I should say. Like the others are fine. I think Mario 3 is a close second, with the multiplayer where you're each moving on the board.
Yeah,
Whereas with this, there's um there's easy ways of like, I don't know, going against each other. It's not like you're trying to compete to the same goal. For Mario World, it's more of you can actually go a different route potentially and
yeah,
just do one half of the world, and then the other person do the top half or something like that. So it's really
yeah,
cool how you can just do all that. But
yeah. I think it's the first time ever, and I could be wrong, so don't quote me. It's one of the few times where Super Nintendo had a lot of games where you could go back. That
uh-huh.
was the thing. It's like, hey, get a couple things done and then go back to that level. That is kind of a new mechanic that they brought with this. Obviously, Metroid and stuff like that had that.
Mhm.
But that was like a real big thing there with Mario games. So
That, and you
yeah,
can also play through castles again by holding L and R and then selecting again. Like even when
yeah,
you beat a castle, like you, if you really like a castle level, you can play it again instead of
yeah.
just going through. Yeah, you can replay every single level if you really wanted to.
Yeah, I think um definitely is I'll give it that S tier. And like I said, you said we may be moving stuff around. Um so let's move on to the first Mario game for the Game Boy. Um and it's Super Mario Land. So here's a weird one. So I remember when this came out and I started playing it, it has nothing really to do with the other Marios. Completely different game.
There's
Um
Daisy. You got Daisy and Tatanga, I think is his name.
Yeah, and, like, even the levels were, like, very Egyptian based. Some of the bad guys were that. There's even, like, a flying Mario stage,
Yeah.
um, and stuff. It was definitely different, but it's still on the go. It was the best way to play Mario.
Yeah.
It felt like Mario. Um, the only real power-ups were, getting big and fire, but it was still a pretty good game, like, on those long road trips, that was the game to take. You wanted that, you wanted Zelda, you wanted Metroid, you felt like you wanted a challenge, then maybe you would get Kid Icarus, uh,
Hmm.
even though that game is just, yeah, brutally hard. Um, I would say that it's a very quick game. You could probably finish it in a couple hours. It's not long, but it was very early Game Boy, you know? Um, I would say like a C on this one.
Yeah. Um I think it's probably a C as well. I'm trying to look to see what the power-ups are for this game because
Yeah, I mean, what are your thoughts on putting Super Mario Land in like I mean, I don't know. Like I still think it's a great game. I know you went through some of the things. I forgot there was the Super Ball thing.
yeah, I would say um I think it's a high C. I think it's better than Lost Levels.
I agree. I think it's so difficult because it's so early Game Boy,
Mhm.
you know? And we have some Game Boy Advance games here which are completely different compared to what
DS
we got on
games.
Game Boy. I'm sorry, DS games. Um, they looked way better, but technology, right?
Mhm.
Um, also, I remember going on road trips and taking my Game Boy, Super Mario and stuff, and then like bringing like I don't know, like a bag full of batteries every single time because that Game Boy man would just drain batteries. 4 AA batteries. Um, you know, I drove my parents nuts because we would get to like somewhere we're going, and I'd be like, "Hey, I need to get more batteries. I need to get more batteries." At one point, they bought me one of those battery pack things, but it had to charge for like 24 hours.
Yeah, they do.
They're pretty awful.
I'm trying to
Um,
find if I have it, but I don't. It's not in
oh,
front of
you
me
have
right
this
now.
game?
I found Yoshi.
Hey,
This is my bag of tricks. Oh, well, here's the next one. Um
oh, you have one of them?
yeah.
Wow. So obviously, we're talking about Super Mario Land 2. Um, better graphics, a little bit better gameplay, which is hard for the Game Boy.
Mhm.
Um, I liked it. I liked it. These just came out not too long ago for Nintendo on, I think it was last year.
Mhm.
I played through both of them fairly quickly. They're not very long games,
No.
but it's just enough Mario on the road. Um, I will say my eye problems now are probably because I had a Game Boy. Um, I'll be completely honest.
Probably.
Um, I would put this in. I think it'd put it right next to Super Mario Land 1. I mean,
Mm,
I don't really think it's a if it's a B, it's a low B.
you're going to hate me.
You can put it higher?
I think this is a low A.
Explain your thoughts on that.
It's Super Mario Land 2, the 6 golden coins. There's 6 coins. Does Super Mario Brothers or Super Mario Bros 2 have 6 gold coins? I don't think so. Case closed.
Mm,
Um So, my main reasoning is that it's I would rather go back and play this game than Mario Brothers or Mario Brothers 2. This game is so
Okay.
different and wacky. Um, that I think it just deserves the replayability because it is a Game Boy game. Whereas with Mario Land, like yes, it's short and yes, it's made to be replayed, but like it isn't really because it's not really that great of a game. Whereas with this has all the different cool worlds. It has like the robot Mario. It has inside the house. It has the spooky land. It has diving underwater. It has being on the moon. You have like moon mechanics and you have like this really awesome jump and then like moon walking and all of that too. There's this really cool um there aren't flagpoles. There's the
Yeah.
bells, so you can get the bells if you want. I don't think bells are required, but that gets you like the extra, the special stage or whatever, I believe. And then sometimes there's extra bells either further up or there's different entrances or exits. I really like the bunny costume. I think the bunny ears are it's really fun because it reminds me a lot of a worse Peach, but like it still feels really good because you have to continuously like hit the button to like flap your ears to like hover or
Yeah.
glide. um I don't know, like I really like this game a lot. I think this is one of the best Mario games ever made. But I also do understand that I don't think I'm necessarily in the minority of people who agree with this. However, with our list here, I think this deserves to be an A, but I don't know if it should be necessary. I think it's above the other two and B, but I don't
Yeah.
know if this should be our list. See, this is why we talked about earlier, like our list can change when we enter something new into here because I feel like the list should change, but I don't know how it should change because for the sake of this list already, if we are going to keep it the way it is, then we can put this in a B. But if we change things up, then this could go into A. But then we have just a bunch of things in A. But at the same time, it's Mario, and so Mario does deserve to have all these A's and all of that. So like it
Yeah.
just really depends on kind of what your vibe is, what you're feeling. I mean, we can
I
put it
mean,
somewhere right now and then evaluate it at the end.
I'm okay with putting it behind Mario 3 as a low A. And the more you're talking about it, the more I'm starting to so that is fine. And this list will change. I almost guarantee it. Um, so let's go ahead and do that there and then kind of see where we get to. I think before we get to the second to last, there'll probably be some things that move. Um,
Mhm.
but we'll have to wait and see. And like Alex said, these are Mario games. These None of these games are bad.
Mm-mm.
Even the last game we'll talk about, I I have my issues with it, but overall, there's nothing really wrong with it. Um, Level design and stuff like that is good. Um, so so now there's new Super Mario Bros for the DS. Um, so we get a new console that's handheld, and of course, there's a new Mario game. Um, I think this one's a very good game. I don't think, and this is just me, I don't think it's as good as Super Mario Land or 2, but I definitely think it's a good game. I think the level design was pretty good, the story was pretty decent. Um, when you got a DS, this is what you bought.
Yeah,
I mean, to be honest,
yeah.
you bought Mario. And
Mega
because
Mushroom.
yeah, there's the thing is you never could go wrong with buying a Mario game with a new end
Yeah.
of story. Maybe Switch 2 should learn from this and do not just a kart racer. But yeah, I think but
When
I
your
don't think it's
Mario Kart game is the most profiting game, it makes sense that they're only doing Mario Kart at launch.
I mean, yes, I see the business aspect, but I was really hoping for an Odyssey 2, and I think we'll get one. I think we'll get one
We got
eventually.
Donkey Kong. Donkey Kong's coming up next.
I and that Donkey Kong looks awesome.
Yeah.
So I want to say I would put this, uh, and I'm sure you have your thoughts. I would put this like in between. I think it's definitely better than Mario and Mario 2. So I would put it at a high B, unless you're thinking it deserves a high A.
I think it's better than Mario 3.
That's
uh
a hard one. That is hard.
I love this game. This is the game first Mario game where it felt good to complete, because it was one of the first ones that had collectibles. It had alternate worlds. You could also play as Luigi, I believe, unless I'm confusing it with 3D World. But 3D World has the same type of stuff as well, or 3D Land, excuse me. Had the same type of stuff as well. That game isn't on here because it's not a 2D game technically. But I digress. I really like New Super Mario Bros. Because it reinvents the wheel, but in a good way. It takes all the
Yeah.
good things from Mario 3, from Mario World, from original Mario, and kind of just makes it better and makes a new baseline. And so I think that it does a lot of this stuff really good. There are a couple things I have problems with. And so that's why maybe it will be knocked down a little bit. But the things I have problems with are more in the sequels and not really this game. Because I excuse this game for being, this is the first one that does this, and so it does all these cool things. It has really nice levels. It has interesting power ups, interesting mechanics. This has the multiplayer stuff. You can play a battle mode thing. You
Oh
can
yeah.
also do those games that were on Mario 64. They added more of those, and so you can do like Poker Luigi. You can play the bomb sorting game. You can play like I don't know, all those games, but there's like multiplayer aspects to those now too. And so you can do the DS share feature or the download play. Or you can have other people with the games as well. Because I used to play, I forget which one it was, but I used to play one a lot with friends back in the day, because like up to like 4 people could play it.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of cool features in this game that I think make it really good. But I also understand that, again, I'm in the minority of this because I played this game a lot. I completed this game because it's just so fun to play a modern Mario on the go. And like the last Mario game we had before this was Mario World, or slash Mario Yoshi's Island, I guess.
Yeah.
Because they were going 3D at the time, so it was Mario 64 and Mario Sunshine. So this is really like the first getting back to its roots type game for a while, besides the Game Boy Advance games, again, that we're not going to say here or not going to show here or rank. But like the Game Boy Advance games were just repackages of these games here, but in the advance formula. So it was basically an All Stars 2, if you will. So like it had
Yeah.
noises and the like they talked and stuff and said things, but then also there were extra levels sometimes, or the character sprites look different. The music was different because it's a Game Boy Advance. But like this is really like the, hey, we're starting Mario again. Like this was my experience of having Mario come out for the first time, essentially, because I was old enough for this. So I think it is a very great game. I think personally, if we want to fight for it, I think it's better. I think I could agree with putting it in between the two A's.
I can agree to that. And like I said, it may switch. So we'll put it in between Super Mario 3 and Super Mario Land 2, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. And as we're getting down to the nitty-gritty, there are 4 left. It's gonna get harder. Um, in previous times of us doing these ranking, it's been easy because there's been some like really great things, and then there's been some real awful.
Yeah.
But none of these games are really awful.
We'll wait. We'll wait.
I
There's
mean,
there's one. There's one.
yeah.
It's not what you're
All right,
thinking.
probably not. So we have Super Mario Wii. Again, new console, new Mario. I like this one because it added new elements. The biggest element is 4 people could play at the same time, which was crazy to think. I will say it's a little chaotic, and if you're
Mhm.
playing with people that have never played Mario, it's not fun. It really isn't. But if you have, it's a really great game. Um, I think it, again, between this and Mario Kart and Zelda, is probably some of the top sellers on that console. The Wii sold so many consoles.
Yeah.
Everyone had one, and they were selling at one point for like $300 to $500 because you couldn't find them. But Mario on there is great. This one's gonna be another difficult one. I think it's good. Um, I think it's I want to hear your thought. I've been doing mine and all mine are wrong. So what are your thought on this one?
Your opinions aren't wrong. They're just different. Um so I think this is a very good game. I think it's interesting and cool that there is a a multiplayer mechanic. But I
Yeah,
don't think it's implemented well. I think there's a lot of problems with bubbling way too soon. Because you die too quickly or you run off the screen too quickly. Um, Also, I don't really like the power ups in this game for the most part. I think this one
yeah,
has penguin suit and spin helicopter
it does.
thing. Um, but I think that's probably about it. And then you also have Yoshi's as well. But I don't really like this game. I don't know. Like I used to be more fond of this game, but looking back and seeing other things and appreciating certain things now as an adult as well. Um, this is basically just New Super Mario Bros. Again, but with 4 people. It does have
Yeah,
pretty good levels though, and so I think it does deserve to be in a higher ranking. But I don't think it's better than DS. Um,
no.
like honestly, like this could be like a high B for me.
So before Super Mario
Origin.
1 and 2, correct?
Yeah, I would think that.
I mean, yeah, it did offer new mechanics as a multiplayer like this. So I'll give it to you. I know which one you're thinking that's not going to get the high rating here, but I'll see if I'm right. Um, so yeah, so we'll move that to a high B. So the next one is Super Mario U, and I'm just going to add in there Luigi too because
Yeah,
that's they're the same game. The difference is Luigi's in one of them,
one's a
I
little
guess.
harder than the other. Yeah,
Yeah, and so these came out for the Wii U. Not a success for the Nintendo. Almost bankrupt them. Um, but because of the Wii U, we have the Switch, one of their second highest selling consoles of all time.
and we'll have the
I
Switch
think
too
it
soon.
I think it almost beat NES and Super Nintendo. It was very close. I think it beat Super Nintendo.
It probably has. I don't think it's ever going to beat PS2 because of
No.
DVD and all that. But
So this game, first off, it's the first time Mario is being brought into high definition.
that's true.
720. It's I have a Wii U. I've got a very small collection. Um, this was good enough for them to bring Super Mario Deluxe to the Switch. Um, there. So, what are your thoughts on this one? Because we just talked about new Super Mario. And so this one here is for the Wii U and of course Switch. What are your thoughts on this one?
I like the acorn mechanics. I like the baby Yoshi mechanics. I think this game has cooler set pieces and cooler mechanics, and so I think that's why it makes it better than Wii for me. But in all honesty, it's a more boring game.
It is. I mean, it really, it's cool. I think it was cool to see Mario in high definition. Um, but you're right. It really kind of is. I was actually thinking a high beat. I think I put it before,
Before Wii.
unless, yeah, I think it before the Wii one. Um, the Wii one was great. And by the way, and I know I said a lot about high definition. The Wii version did push the Wii to the level. I mean, it really did of what the Wii could do.
Yeah.
But I think play wise, I would do a high B. I don't know what your thoughts are, but
Yeah,
I'm
just
thinking like,
adding Luigi into that as well. I think it does just bump it up just naturally. Having those challenging levels, and those challenges in general, just help out a ton with that. Um, yeah, I think it is just I think it is a better game than the Wii version. Um, this is the introduction of Nabbit, I think, too.
yeah,
And so you did have that character who cannot die, which is a really good feature to have for a game when you're having just like a very tiny child play for the very first time. Um,
yeah,
because it's just interesting to see that kind of stuff put into games nowadays, whereas back when like a kid's just happy just to play Mario, like the original say Mario Bros, and they only see the first level and they're just happy
yeah,
to play. But if you can give them a little more leeway there and like allow them to see more just by playing, and not like hurting them, then it probably makes their experience even better. And then once they're grown up, then they can learn like, oh, I'm why am I why am I losing when I'm playing as Mario? Oh, it's because of this. But
I mean, it was tough when we got an NES, and I'm like, okay, let's boot this bad boy up. Playing Super Mario, I died a lot, and then you get just used to it.
mhm,
Um, it's kind of like watching my wife try to do a dual stick
mhm.
controller, and she's like, I don't understand how this works. You just got to get used to it. And so, yeah, I'll give you that. I mean, looking at the list so far, I think we're right on with like a bunch of these. I see one or two moving. There is a game on here I think that we will have a big disagreement, but it's okay. Um, so now let's move on to another DS game. So New Super Mario Bros. 2.
3DS.
Um, 3DS, excuse me. So yeah, I'm gonna let you handle this because I think this is the one that you're not going to give a good score to.
I hate this game. This game's trash.
All of it.
I really do not like this game. The mechanic of it, it's just collect a bunch of coins, and so because of that, the levels aren't really that good. There are cute mechanics where it's like, oh, I accidentally wear a coin head or something, and so when I'm running around, like I look like Mario or Luigi, and just coins are running out of me. There's just so many power ups and mechanics to just get coins and collect a ton of coins because they want the world to reach a ton of coins. Because I think there was like a tracker, like even online, that showed like, here's how many coins everyone has collected, and it was just stupid. Like no one cares about coins. I'm gonna be honest with you. No one cares about coins. No one's ever cared about rings for the most part. Was like Sonic. Um, People only care about rings, I guess, for Sonic because like their health, but and like
Right.
extra lives. Whereas like with Mario, I don't know, there aren't enough coins to really matter. Coins were kind of just mostly for like high score type stuff. But like coins are just kind of stupid. Like the only time coins matter are for Super Mario Kart and for Mario Kart DS and 8 and beyond. because they have like, they help your like top speed or whatever. It's either acceleration or top speed when you get so many coins in those games. Like that's what your coin meter is for. So there's a purpose for coins. But for this game, there is no purpose for coins. And so there's just a bunch of coins. It's like man, I don't know what I want to say. I don't know what's appropriate. It's like it's like, okay, it's not this bad, but it's like let's say Bubsy's in front of you, right? You see like Bubsy.
Oh
And
goodness.
so like Bubsy is just kind of a trash game because it's not super great. It's not this bad, but just go with me here. But then what they do, they they jingle some keys right in front of you, you know, like really shiny keys. And so they're like, hey, look at the keys. Don't worry about the bad platforming and the bad game design. Just look at these keys, look at these shiny coins. And so that's how I feel about this game. I feel like it's just kind of uninspired.
So
I what
I was gonna say, like, well, the big question is this gonna be like our first D?
I kind of wanted to make it a D.
I mean, I don't remember playing much of this. I do remember it. So I'm gonna let you place this one where you think it needs to. So if you think it's a D, it's a D.
I have the power.
I mean, you're gonna get all the hate later, but
I don't think
oh,
anyone cares about this game. I'm gonna
I
be
think you're
honest with
right.
you. I think everyone is either very like, I don't know, they just don't care, or they're like me who really hate it. And
I
so
mean, yeah,
I don't
my
even
kids
own
have
it anymore. That's how much I hate it.
really
I
my
sold it.
kids my kids they did have 3DSs. Well, they had the 2DS
Mhm.
thing because my one son broke everything at that age, and he wanted to play 3DS games, and that was the best way. Um, they never really got into that game,
It's not
but
good.
they were into Pokemon. I mean, I think I was the age group. So yeah, if you think it's a D, it's a D. All right. So the last game we're gonna talk about is actually a Switch game. Um, not very old. It is Super Mario Wonder. Super Mario Bros. Wonder. And so we were kind of talking about this beforehand. I just finished a Super Mario game on the Switch, one of the early games, and I was like, "This game is great." I don't know what I was missing, why I never played this game. This game is great. I tried to go back and play Wonder, and I was like, "I just don't like this game." Now, here's the thing: the game itself is fine. I think there could be a better way to get to different areas, um, better mapped out there. But for me, I got like really bored. I'm like almost done with the game. Um, I know at one point you were streaming this and you were doing really great, and it was great to see it. I just think for me, I want to put this at a C. And here's my reason behind C. And I know you're already shaking your head, but like I was just got so bored. I It's rare for me to play a Mario game where I mean, to be honest, um, I was super bored. Now you are would it like a B or an A? I think it does very good things. Um, I think it did okay in the market. I don't think it's that one that's sought after. But yeah, what are your thoughts? Because I know you're shaking your head, shaking your head at me of Ben, what bad decisions you make. Um, I mean, what are your thoughts on it?
We just described Mario U as a boring game and put it at B. So I feel like if anything, Mario Wonder should be a high B. That's my reasoning there, first of
I
all.
mean, I'll give you that. Okay, so
But
my yeah, and my thought is because I just got done with Mario Odyssey,
yeah, they're two different
and
games.
they are two different games. I think Mario Odyssey is just a better game. If it was on this list, it definitely higher. But yeah, I mean, did you ever finish Wonder?
No, I did not. And that's not a fault of the game, necessarily. I mean, I guess it was a fault of the game. But I was streaming it, and then I kind of stopped streaming it because I was playing other things, and then I kind of when I put thing when I was streaming, I put things on the back burner for streaming games, and so that's kind of how it fell off, because it was getting boring as a streaming game. I do think about it quite a lot. In fact, like I've been watching the Super Beard Bros right now, Brett and
Oh
Alex
yeah.
play Mario Wonder, and it's kind of getting me like wanting to play this game again. To seeing them play it and maybe finally completing it. I think the game and I think, and I forget if I said this on the episode already or if we were talking beforehand, but this game is very much, how do I describe it? It's like Final Fantasy 13, where Final Fantasy 13 is an excellent JRPG for what people think of Final Fantasy games, especially at that time. I don't think it's an excellent Final Fantasy game. And
Right.
so it's kind of the same thing here. I think Mario Wonder is an excellent platformer. But because it's so different from a Mario game, it's kind of in this weird limbo that it should be kind of ranked outside of all of these. Because it has badge mechanics, because it has challenges, because it has they're built into the game. Because it has just 3D elements as well, like shops where you can keep going to them and getting lives or getting these standees or whatever. It does have the mechanics again for multiplayer. There are cool power ups. Like I really like the bubble one, especially for multiplayer, because other people can jump on your bubbles too, and so that does give that extra boost. Whereas like instead of like other multiplayer games for Mario where none of your attacks or things like that hurt or help your co-op partner or whatever or partners, whereas this can actually you can help people by using certain abilities or equipment. I think the Wonder Seeds are pretty cool. Overall, they are gimmicky. That they are definitely gimmicky. Like they're doing certain things, but each level has a purpose and it executes that purpose well.
Yeah.
This is just a this is an example of very well thought out levels um with really cool mechanics, but there's a lot of them, and a lot of them can be pretty different to where
Yeah.
it gets boring because then you're stuck in like, oh, I'm in the swimming place for a while, or I'm in the desert place, I don't like this. And so you're kind of stuck in that for a bit because you are trying to do everything, you're trying to fight all these things. And whereas like other Mario games, like you are in the desert world or you are in the swimming world, but either they don't last long or every level essentially feels the same anyway.
Yeah.
And so I think that this game is probably a high B at least. High B, low A, just because I think it is a really, really good game. If we were ranking this solely on just is it a good Mario game, I think it is. That might be where it'd go, probably like lower B. But ranking it as an excellent game just on its own, also it happens to be Mario, I think that's why it docks down some points. But I think it's less boring than you. You, the Mario
Yeah.
Brothers you, not you specifically. But yeah, so like I think that it should be at least a high B.
I mean, I'll give you the high B above before Mario U. So I definitely think there. Um, like I said, maybe I'll get the itch to go back to it. I try to. But I also started Persona 5 on my Switch.
Oh
So
wow, look at that,
yeah,
looking
I
cool,
don't like it.
Joker.
I don't like it in handheld mode though, I will um and it's what I can't play in front of the kids, so I have to play it when they're not here.
Yeah,
But
just get it on
look,
PS5 or something.
I think I have it on PS. I think I have Royal on PS4.
Okay. There's a
digitally.
PS5 version that has better like frame rate and whatever. So
Yeah. Okay, so looking at this list now, okay, before I go through and list everything out, is there anything right now that on the top of your head you're like, I want to move around? Because I want to hear what your thoughts are first before I throw my 2 cents in.
I like it how the ranking kind of looks like a middle finger sticking out.
I mean, it does. It
Yeah.
really does.
But but I so I'm gonna be honest with you. I think it's probably fine as is. I think everything here is probably good. Am I being a little harsh on New Super Mario Bros. 2? Probably, but at the same time, I don't think it deserves a C. Um,
I mean, yeah,
and so that's why, if anything would move, I would say the A's and the B's would move around, but I don't think anything's gonna move in the S. I don't think any thing's gonna move from C to B or from B to C or anything like that. Uh, Basically, it's just a matter of, do you want to add Wonder to A instead of high B? Like that's my only thing that I feel is
I
like the thing that could move, but I don't
right.
think Mario 3 deserves to have an S. Regardless
I
of
want to
what
leave
everyone else says.
right,
I don't
right.
think it does it.
I mean, and again, I have to think on gameplay mechanics and things of that nature. I can't go on nostalgia.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't. I have made very, very poor financial decisions on nostalgia.
Night Trap.
Exactly. And it took 3 years to sell. I made exactly my money back, by the way. Like to the dime,
Yeah.
that's what I bought it for. Um, I'd rather keep Mario like um Wonder where it's at, just because I don't think it's like A level. Now, catch me down the road a little bit, and I've like gone back and finished it. I may go, you know what? It really wasn't where I was at. I, but I looking at the list, I want to say it's there. I do think the only one I was thinking of moving would be Mario 3 next to Super Mario World in the S tier, like not in front of Super Mario World, but I'm okay with where it is now. And
Mhm.
again, I think it's more nostalgia of
Mhm.
me wanting to move Mario 3,
Yeah.
but I'm okay with the list if you're okay.
I'm okay with this.
Um, so let's go through the list now since Alex and I have come to it. I thought there'd be a little more argument on some of these, but no, I guess we're there. S tier, we have Super Mario World. A, we have Super Mario Brothers 3, New Super Mario Bros. For DS, Super Mario Land 2 for Game Boy. For B, we have Super Mario Wonder, Super Mario Bros. U, um, New Super Mario for Wii, um, Super Mario Bros. For NES, and then Super Mario Brothers 2 for NES. In the C range, we've got Super Mario Land, Super Mario The Lost Levels, or technically Super Mario 2 from Japan. And then last but not least, Alex's D pick, which I didn't think there was going to be, is New Super Mario Bros. 2 for the 3DS.
Yeah.
Wow, that's a D.
Yeah.
Look at that. I didn't
Bad.
think it was going to happen.
Bad game. I forgot that we put it on this list, and then when we were ranking through things, I was like, "Oh yeah, I hate that game." So
I guess so. And again, this is our ranking, maybe you want to do something perfectly fine. This is our personal thoughts here. If you enjoyed listening, definitely check us out. So, like I said, this is a bi-weekly. This will come out on a Wednesday, and then the video version, if you could, definitely follow us on wherever we're at, whether it's our social media, whether it is downloading the podcast audio or watching it on YouTube and subscribing on YouTube. One other thing I really kind of want to do, I know if you have a podcast, if you have streaming, and you want to do a collaboration, definitely reach out to us either through uh, Blue Sky or X or through Facebook. We'd love to collab. We've had some really, really good ones. Uh, just recently, we did one with Encore, which was really great. In the past, we've done people doing documentaries. We've had streamers on. So,
Developers.
yeah, developers. So, definitely, if you're looking to like really want to get out there and you want to be on the show, reach out to us. Uh, Alex and I do a pretty good job of getting back with people and stuff. You know, we're definitely as the year starts getting closer and closer. I know it sounds weird um, to say that this one's going to come out in May. As it gets closer to um, summer and then to fall, we take a break in November, December. So um, maybe we're looking we definitely to do some pre-recordings of those late summer, early fall. Um, but yeah, I don't have anything else. Do you have anything else to say, Alex?
Nothing really except to get at it.
Get at it.